Hello friends, welcome back. In today's video I have a tutorial for a mini album I just made. I used a paper collection from Doodlebug. I've had this paper in my stash for years and my daughter asked me to make her an album for her birthday using this collection. So I am going to quickly show you how it looks and then we'll get started with the tutorial. On the back of the cover I added this little envelope. On the flap, I added a brad and covered it with a heart, and it opens up to add the photos. On this other page, I wanted to do something fun using these cut-apart squares that came with the collection. I left a few spaces free to add 2x2 photos, and I really like how it turned out. This is also a pocket and it holds a tag inside. It flips on this side and the other side flips open too. On the next page there is a pocket with a booklet that has a space for 2 photos. And when you open this flap there is another booklet inside. And here we have a side pull out for more photos. So I'll just slide this back along with the folios. Okay, and on this page I used the 4x4 cut apart. I also added 2 magnets here and 2 more inside. On this one my daughter wanted the castle, so I use it as a closure. I put 2 magnets here and 2 more on each side. When we open it we have a folio. I added some frames from the bits and pieces and there is a space for 2x2 photos here and more on this side. And on the other side, you can pull out this extra page for more photos. And I'll just slide that back in and place the castle on top. Okay. Here I added more of the bits and pieces and I made a few tags with the leftover cut apart. And on the back, there is more space for photos. So I'll go ahead and tuck everything back inside, and this is what we're going to make today, so let's get started with the tutorial. Okay, for this album, my covers are going to measure 7.5 by 5.5 and the spine 7.5 by 1/8. I recently shared a video with the process of my covers, so I am going to skip this part and do it off camera, and I am going to link the video on the description box for you to follow, and I'll be right back with my covers ready. Okay, I have my covers ready and I am gonna put them aside to dry, and in the meantime I'm going to work on my spine. And for that I'm gonna need a piece of cardstock of 7 1/4 by 5 7/8, and I am gonna start scoring at 2 2 3/8, 2 3/4, 3 1/8, 3.5, and 3 7/8. All right. Okay. So now I am going to fold my paper and start joining together these 2 pieces. And then I'm gonna skip one line. Okay, I folded the wrong one. Okay, I have one there. And then right here, I need to fold. All right. And now I can just join them together. I'm gonna press just to make sure it is folded well. And now I'm gonna turn my paper and start adding the adhesive on the back. And now I can press down just to make sure it is well glued. Now this other one, these are gonna be my 2 signature pages for the album. Okay, I'm pressing down, and this is ready. Okay. I'm just making sure I like to fold them, both of them. And now I'm gonna cut the corners. This is gonna help once I put my signature pages. It's gonna be easier to put them. Okay. Now with my covers, I'm gonna put this on the center. I like to use glue for everything I do on my spine because I think with glue this lasts longer. You can also use the double-sided tape, but I prefer the glue. Okay, I just try to put it on the center. Okay, and I just press down. And try to make sure that, especially in the center where my folded area is, that is really well glued. And then I'm gonna use this other bone folder. It is a little bit thinner than the other one, so it's gonna help me to just score that line and then carefully be folding my covers. Okay. Okay. Okay, now I'm going to start with the signature pages, and I'm going to need 2 pieces of cardstock of 8 1/4 by 5 1/4 and 2 others of 7 1/4 by 5 1/4. I'm going to leave the measurements on the right of the screen so you can see them better. And on the side of the 8 1/4, I'm going to score 1/2 inch in both sides, and then I take the other one and I'm going to do the same. Okay, and now I'm gonna fold these. And this is gonna be like a pocket that I'm gonna make as my signature page. And now I'm gonna cut on the corner of the tabs on both sides. And then this other one too. All right. And now I am going to add the adhesive on my tabs. Okay, and then I'm gonna put the other piece of cardstock on the bottom, and I'm just gonna make sure it is straight before I press. Okay, and now I glue the other side. This is gonna be like a pocket. One side is gonna be stick to my spine, and the other is gonna be side open to add something else. You'll see in a minute. Okay, I'm gonna do the same on the other side. I'm gonna add the glue. I forgot to cut this corner. Okay, then I'm gonna put this on the top. I make sure this is straight. And now I glue the other side. All right. Okay, now I have my 2 signature pages. Now the measurements for my first page are gonna be 5 1/4 by 7 1/4, 5 by 5.5, and 5 by 4.5. I am gonna leave the measurements on the screen so you can see them better. And I am gonna take my first paper and where it measures 5 1/4, I'm gonna score at 1/2 inch. And then the next one, this is going to be the pocket. So I am going to score 3 sides of the paper. Okay. And the last one on the side that measures 5 inches, I'm going to score 1/2 inch. Okay, this is going to be a flap. And now I am gonna fold them Okay, and I'm gonna cut the corners of the tabs. This is the pocket, so I have to cut both sides. All right, and then the last one. Okay. Okay, I just need to fold this one. And now I'm gonna show you how it's gonna look. So this is the signature page, and I am gonna put the first flap on the top. This is gonna be on the left side, and then the other flap is gonna be on the right side on the center, and then the pocket on the top. Okay, so now we are going to glue everything together. I am just gonna add the adhesive on the bottom of the tab. Okay. And then I am going to use tape, and the tape I'm gonna put it on the top. So since this is gonna be a pocket, I am gonna put a tag inside, and I don't want the tab to get stuck with the tab, the tab of my pocket. So the tape is gonna help to go down, and then I can add adhesive on the sides. All right. Okay. So this is my first page, and oh, okay, I need to add the squares on the front. Okay, that is next. Okay, I need one square of 218 by 218 and 3 papers of 218 by 4 1/4. And I am going to fold them on half. So I'm gonna bring my scoreboard and make and score them at 218, the 3 of them. And now I am going to fold them, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to glue them on the flap we have on top. Okay, so I'm going to take the first square, and I'm going to put it on top, then this other one next, and I'm going to put one after the other, and this is how it's going to open. Okay, so I'm gonna put something on top to hold what I am gonna glue, and then I'm gonna add the adhesive on this first square, and I'm gonna leave a gap of 1/8, and I am gonna glue it there. And then with the next one, I'm gonna add glue just in one side, and then put it right after the first square that I just glued, and with the flap opening on top of the first square. Okay, so once I open that one, I can put the next one. I add the glue in just one side, and then put it right after the other one, and then when I open it, it covers the square that I put before. Okay, this is the last one. Okay, I am just making sure it is straight so I can easily open it. Okay, and this is how it's going to open once it is glued. And we have our first page ready. On the back of the page I just made, I'm going to make a pocket, and I need a paper of 3 1/4 by 8 1/4. And now I am going to score 3 of the sides, half an inch. So just 3 sides, and then I'm gonna cut the corners of the tabs. All right, and I'm gonna fold it on my score lines, and this is where it is going to be. But I want my pocket on diagonal, so I am going to put a mark from the right side to the center at 2 inches. Okay, and now I am gonna cut to that mark on diagonal. Okay, and yeah, I like it. So I'm gonna remove that mark, and yes, I like it. I think I didn't cut it all the way down. Let's see. No, I didn't. Okay, there we go. So I am gonna add the adhesive just on the largest side, and I am gonna check if I am placing it on the right side, because sometimes I put it on the wrong side, and once I check, my other page is all wrong. So always check the back of your page. And here I'm gonna add the tape, so it will help when I add the tags or whatever I'm gonna add in there to go all the way down. And I'm gonna cut a little bit here, and now I can add the adhesive on the sides. All right. Okay. Now I can press down, and we have our pocket ready. Okay. For the side insert, I need a paper of 8 by 7 1/4. On the 7 1/4 side, I need to cut it a little bit shorter. You're gonna see why. I actually cut wrong this paper, but just follow the measurements on the screen. You're gonna see that in a little bit I need to correct that. And I'm gonna score at 3 1/4, and then I am going to fold it. And here is when I realize that I cut it wrong. So now I need to cut the excess of this paper. So I am going to mark where I need to cut. Okay. And I'm just gonna cut this part that I don't need. And now I can put it inside. Okay, I said that on the 7 1/4 it needs to be a little bit shorter, and this is why. This is gonna be inside my signature page, so I need it a little bit shorter than my signature page so I can put it inside. All right, so now I just need to cut at the bottom. I need to mark where my pocket ends, and then I am going to cut from the top to the bottom to the mark that I just put, and then I have this other flap on diagonal too, and this is how it's going to look on the back. Okay, now let's work with the second signature page. I am gonna need one paper of 8.5 by 4 1/4 and another of 4 5/8 by 4 1/4. And I'm gonna take the first one and I'm gonna score at 4 1/4, and then the other one on the side of 4 5/8, I'm gonna score at 4 1/4. All right, and now I'm just gonna fold my paper. Okay, and this one is gonna go on top, and I'm gonna cut first the corners of the tab. Okay, and now I can add the adhesive and place it on top of my other square that I have. Okay, I'm gonna press down just to make sure it is well glued, and okay, it is ready, and this is my signature page. This is gonna go on top. Okay, now I'm gonna make a pocket, and it is gonna measure 7 3/4 by 4.5, and I am just gonna score on 1/2 inch at 4/4, and then in one other side half an inch. Okay, this is going to be a little bit different than my other pocket, but it's gonna look the same. So I'm gonna fold my tabs, and now I am gonna mark at 2 inches on one side, on the opposite side of my tab, and I am going to cut. I am double checking that I am cutting it on the right place. All right, now I can cut, and I have my other pocket, and it is open on the top. Okay, and I am gonna erase the mark if I have any, and I am gonna add the adhesive. What I did wrong is that I put the adhesive all over my tabs, in the two tabs, and I should have put it on just on the right side and then add the tape. Don't forget to do that. I didn't do it, and I was struggling when I put my insert inside of the of this pocket. So don't forget to add the adhesive on the side of the pocket. Okay, so now I am going to need one paper of 8 by 7 1/4, and I'm going to repeat the process I did on the other page, but it is the insert. I'm going to score at 4 3/4, and then I am going to fold this one. I made sure that I cut right this paper, so now I don't have to correct anything. Okay, and now I just need to mark where my pocket ends, and then I am going to cut another diagonal line in here. Okay, now we have this insert with the flap, and there we go. Now I'm going to need another paper of 9 by 3 3/4, and I'm going to score at 5. This is going to be an envelope that I am going to put at the beginning of the album. And now I'm going to need another paper of 2 3/4 by 3 3/4, and I'm going to score at 2 1/4. And now I am going to fold this and press down, and this is how it's going to look. So now I'm gonna cut, okay, I'm gonna glue it first. So I am going to cut the tabs, and now I'm gonna glue it, but the glue I'm gonna put it inside the tab because I want the tab to go on the back of the envelope. Okay, just like that. And now I am going to measure 1 inch, and I am gonna cut a line and a diagonal line. And this is gonna match with the other pages that I cut on diagonal too. And I'm just gonna add a brad in here, and then we have this pocket ready. Okay, I am going to show you how our pages are going to look. But first, I'm gonna cut on this first page, I'm gonna mark 2 inches, and I am gonna cut this first page on diagonal. I wasn't planning to do that, but after I cut the pockets and everything, I think this is going to look better if I do that. So it will match with the rest of the album. Okay, I like it. All right, so I am going to put everything together and see if we have everything ready. So this is going to be the envelope that is going to be on the back of the cover. Then we have this page with the squares, and here we have the side pocket, and I am going to put the folios inside. My folio measures 6 1/4 by 8 1/2, but I am going to use the cut aparts that came with the paper collection, so it might be different for you. It will depend on the paper you want to use. And here I am going to put 2 magnets. Then on this other side, I'm going to put the magnets on the center, so it doesn't compromise with the magnets that I have on the back. And now here I have a folio that this measures 10 by 7, and I scored it at 5. And then we have this side pocket with the flap. And in the center, I am going to use the castle from the bits and pieces that came with the collection. And I'm going to put the magnets on my paper and then 2 other magnets on the castle to hold my page. I already put my design paper on the inside covers and completely forgot about the pocket I wanted to add to the back. This one measures 6 1/4 by 4, and I've already scored it at 1/2 inch on 3 sides. So I am just gonna cut the corners of the tabs, and now I am going to fold it, and I am gonna press down with my bone folder to have a nice fold. And I want to make this pocket more fun, so I'm gonna cut diagonally. So from the right side to the center, I am going to mark at 2 inches, and then from the top, I'm gonna go down and measure 1 inch. And now from the top edge to the mark, I am going to cut diagonally. So I'm gonna take my knife and start from this side and then this other side. All right. Okay, I think looks good. And now I am gonna add the adhesive on the bottom tab. Okay, and since I already have my design paper glued, I'm gonna put this on top. Okay, just like that. And I am gonna press, and before gluing the other tabs, I'm gonna add some tape on top, so my tags will go down and won't get caught on the tab I already glued. Okay, and now I can add adhesive on the side tabs, and I'm gonna close this pocket. All right. And I already cut the design paper I am going to use, and I'm gonna go ahead and start cutting the rest of the design paper to decorate my pages. Okay, I already glued my design paper to the pages. I like to do that first because I feel it keeps my covers from getting damaged. I also finished the pocket for my front cover, and I am going to start adding the pages to my spine. Let me show you first what I did with the pocket. So this one opens here, And on the top flap, I added a brad and covered it with a die cut heart. I also taped a cord on the back and brought it to the front to close around the brad. And I added a few of the bits and pieces and dots on the front. All right, so this is gonna go in here, and then my two other pages on the spine. So I am going to start adding glue to the first hinge. And I am going to be very careful to just add it to the hinge and not to the gusset. If that happens, it's okay, we can clean it. And I'm going to spread the glue with the brush over the hinge. All right. And I'm going to remove first all the folios before gluing this. And I'm going to open the inside pocket and put it over the hinge, and don't bring it all the way to the bottom, just a few little bit past the score line. And now I can press with the bone folder and burnish it down. All right, I am loving it already. This is the part when I feel that this is starting to look like a book. So now I am gonna remove first the folios, and then I'm gonna repeat the same process. I'm gonna add glue first here on the hinge. Okay, now this other side too. And the tip of my glue is a little bit big, but it's okay. It's the one I've always used, and I like this glue. Alright, so now I'm gonna open again this pocket and put it over the hinge. Press a little bit and then press with the bone folder and give it a nice burnish. Okay. Okay, I am going to put all this back. This one first. This is still fresh, so but I'm just gonna put it back and then let it dry. Okay. And now the folios, and then this other folio inside. Okay. Well, this is how it's looking so far. Now I am going to add the pocket to the back of my front cover. First, I remove the backing from the double-sided tape, and then I'll add glue to the rest of the paper. Okay. And now I can just place it in the center. I position it there, then open it so I can press it down with the bone folder, and this looks really good. Now I'm gonna add the tabs. I'm gonna start for the big ones first, and then the two others on front. I am going to start working on my cover. For that, I am going to use a piece of ribbon. This is the last piece of ribbon I had left from another project I made. I am going to cut it in half, and I am also going to measure at 3 3/4 inches, which is the center of my cover. I'll do the same on the other side so I know exactly where to place my ribbon. I am going to attach the ribbon with double-sided tape. I need to leave a little gap between the edge of my cover and the double-sided tape because I don't want the tape to show through the ribbon. I also want to make sure that my design paper will cover the tape. So here I am going to place my double-sided tape, and then I am going to remove the backing and place my ribbon on top. Okay, and I am going to glue the rest. All right, I'll do the same on the other side. I'll add the double-sided tape, leaving a small gap, and then I can place my ribbon in the center. I am making sure that it is above the other ribbon that I have in the back, so both ribbons are at the same level. Okay, and now I can add glue with the rest. And now it is ready to add my design paper. I already sew the edges of my paper, so I am just going to attach it. And in this case, I'm going to use double-sided tape, but I thought it was too wide. So I am going to go ahead and add glue to the rest because I don't want to overlap the double-sided tape. So I'm gonna add the glue all around my paper. Okay. So the area where my double-sided tape is will go on top of my ribbon. I like that because with the double-sided tape, I won't have any bubbles or anything that I need to work more on my paper and burnish it too much or press down too much with my bone folders. So it will give a better finish, and I love that. So I need to press a little bit down and burnish it with the bone folder, and now I'm gonna go with the back. I also sew the edges, and I'm gonna go ahead and add glue all around the back of my design paper. This time I am just using glue, and I'm gonna put it on top, and now I just need to burnish with the bone folder. And I need to be very careful on the area where I have my ribbon. I don't want to break my paper when I press down on that area. So I am very gentle when I go on top of my ribbon. I'm checking that all the edges are well glued and I like it. Now I am going to close my album and start working with the spine. I have a piece of chipboard that measures 1 inch by 7¾ inches. It is smaller than my spine. I've already grabbed it with design paper and I am deciding what to add on the spine. I'm going to add an eyelet at the top to hang the embellishments. I am using these eyelets from Craftlier, and I am going to use the crocodile to make a hole at the top of my pink chipboard and press the eyelet in place. Okay, my camera turned off right when I added the eyelet, so I already have it here. Now I am going to thread the yarn from my pom-pom through the eyelet, and I am also gonna choose these two tassels, and I am going to use this pink thread to hang the tassels. I'll tie a knot to hold the tassels with the thread, and then I am going to pass the thread through the eyelet as well. So first I'm just making a knot in here and also in this other tassel. Okay, and once I have them ready, I am going to, well, I need to cut a little bit here. It is too long. And now I am going to pass the thread through the eyelet. And before adding any tape, I'll check if the height is okay or if I need to adjust it. Then I can add double-sided tape to hold the threads in place. Okay, okay, this is too big. I think I need to cut it a little bit. And now I can press there. All right. And now I can just cut the excess of the thread. Now I am double checking if it is okay. If not, I can still remove the double-sided tape and change it. but I like it. So I am gonna go ahead and add the glue on the back of my chipboard, and especially around the thread, I mean on top of the thread, because the double-sided tape is gonna help me to hold it, but I need something strong so it doesn't fall over time. Okay, so I am gonna place it on my spine where I think is the center is, and now start pressing so my chipboard adheres to the spine. I added this clamp so I can press easier with the bone folder. And I'm gonna stay here through the night pressing until it is done. Just kidding. I just need to press a little bit and it is gonna be done. I am gonna go ahead and open the album and then press from this on this side because I don't want to bend my album as I am pressing. But this is gonna look really good. It's just because I added the threads inside that it is gonna take me a little bit longer to adhere, but it is gonna look really good. Now I just need to decorate my cover. I cut these frames with my die cutting machine, and I also cut about 7 that I stacked them together. You could use foam tape instead of cutting all these frames, but I like that it feels sturdier with the cardstock. My daughter also wants me to use the unicorn on front, so I'm going to add it somewhere. So I am going to cut this cardstock at the size of my frame, and this is going to go on the back of the frame. So I'm going to take the ones that I stacked together, and I will go ahead and add glue on the back of my frame. Okay. And then I will put the cardstock on top of the frame. Okay, and now I'm gonna press with the bone folder just to adhere everything really well to the cardstock and don't have anything falling out once I add my sequin. I have some diamond dots that I wanna put inside and also some sequins. So I'm gonna go ahead and add everything that I wanna put on my shaker, and then I will be adding the acetate on top. Okay, so now I am going to add some Tombow glue all around my frame, and then I'm going to take my acetate and place it on top. Okay, I need to make sure it's centered. Okay, and I'll press it down with the bone folder and remove any excess glue I might have. And then I'll take my last frame and add some glue to the back, and I will place it on top of the shaker to cover the edges of the acetate. Just like that. Okay, and I am going to burnish it down with the bone folder. Next, I am going to add the unicorn my daughter wanted on the cover along with this sweet sign, and our album will be finished. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this tutorial, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more crafty projects, and see you in the next one. Bye!